I'm Dr. Lisa Vuich, owner of Renew MediSpa. At Renew, we are experts in sexual wellness procedures for men and women. One of the procedures I'd like to talk to you about for a moment is the PShot or Priapus shot. The PShot was developed back in about 2012 by Dr. Charles Runnels, and it is a form of platelet-rich plasma injection. So platelet-rich plasma is essentially growth factors that are derived from a portion of your own blood, and that blood draw takes place at the time of your procedure. It's not something that you do ahead of time. What we do with the blood sample that we take is run it through an FDA-approved platelet-rich plasma or PRP kit, and that kit enables us to separate out the red cells, which we don't need to inject, from the plasma, which contains your platelets, which contain many of your growth factors. We're able to concentrate that down so that we don't have to inject too much volume, and this gives us a way to deliver growth factors directly to the penis in order to improve the tissue health, growth of tissue in some instances, and also erectile function. Many men who've come to us for the PShot have previously been treated for erectile dysfunction, although this isn't always the case. Sometimes we have men come who simply want to enhance what otherwise might be considered normal function, and sometimes we have men come who are simply looking to use this as an anti-aging procedure because they'd rather not get to a point in their life where they have issues with erectile function. The PShot is really a very simple and elegant procedure. It does involve 5 injections. However, it is a very tiny needle, and there's lidocaine cream, which is medical grade, that's used ahead of time.
Pretty much can't feel a thing.
In order to make sure that you don't feel the needle itself.
We love lidocaine, right? Okay. All right.
We also have nitrous oxide available for those men who feel quite anxious in general about the procedure, or who may have more difficulty with pain in general. The nitrous oxide is very similar to what's used at the dentist's office, only a little bit lower concentration, so that it wears off quickly once we're done, and you don't need to worry about having someone else drive you home. So one way or another, we'll be able to get this done without any discomfort. So back to the procedure. And what the PShot involves is 2 injections on each side of the shaft, and then 1 at the base of the head. You've had the numbing cream on long enough, you really shouldn't feel the little tiny needle. I mean, it's very small, much smaller than the blood draw needle. What you may feel is a little bit of pressure as it goes in. All I'm adding to it right before I inject it is a tiny bit of calcium, and that actually excites the platelets, gets them to think that there's actually injury so that they actually release the growth factor and that it's more available to the tissues as it's going in. Okay? Ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. After the injection has been done, we may opt to do a couple of things, but one is penis pump. We do have erectile function pumps here, which we can teach you how to use if you're going to do a home pump program, which may be important, especially for some men who have issues with Peyronie's disease, which is a plaque that causes some curvature in the penis. So if needed, a penis pump can be part of your Priapus shot procedure and could be something that you go home with. The other thing that we often combine with our PShots, especially in cases of erectile dysfunction, is a procedure called pulse wave, or that's the name we go by here at Renew. Pulse wave is a form of what is traditionally called low-intensity shockwave therapy. Low-intensity shockwave therapy works by a number of mechanisms, but the main ones are microtrauma, which stimulates new blood vessel growth and better blood flow to the penis. The tissues of the penis also can be enhanced, can be thickened, the skin can improve in terms of its appearance and in terms of its thickness. So there are a variety of different benefits of pulse wave therapy for men, but we love combining it with the PShot because it works by a slightly different mechanism. And so when you really, you combine growth factor along with additional microtrauma, you can actually get more out of each procedure because you're doing a synergistic combination in terms of the mechanisms of action.
Okay with that?
We understand that these procedures for men can be embarrassing. It's not normal, of course, to be in a room with two women you don't know and discussing these issues and having these procedures done. But rest assured that this is something we do literally on a daily basis. We're very good at making men feel comfortable about the procedures they're having. We've certainly had excellent reviews of our procedures, many happy clients, and we'd be more than happy to discuss any concerns you may have about the procedure, trying to figure out if it's right for you, and most importantly, which procedure is right for you. So we don't necessarily recommend all of our sexual wellness procedures to every client. It's something, of course, that's tailored to your individual issues, if there are any, what your goals are, what your symptoms are, if you have dysfunction going on, how severe is it, how much does it impact your life, and in the case of our testosterone pellets, for example, what your actual hormone level is. So we're experts in helping you decide what procedures, non-invasive or minimally invasive, might actually impact your symptoms and your particular situation. So if you have any questions after reviewing our website as well, we're happy to answer those. And if you have further questions beyond that, I'm certainly more than happy to answer those here at Renew. When it comes to platelet-rich plasma procedures, it's very important to be sure that the place you're going to go to is highly skilled in delivering these regenerative procedures. Although they're not technically very difficult, they do require a certain finesse, and the placement of the platelet-rich plasma has to be very exact in order for the procedure to work well. At Renew MediSpa, we are a training site for the American Cosmetic Cellular Medicine Association. So we actually train other physicians and nurses how to do these procedures, and we certify them as accepted and certified providers of these vampire or PRP procedures. It's also important to determine that the site that you're going to is using a high-quality PRP kit. There are over 25 different PRP kits that are FDA approved on the market. They do not all deliver the same concentration of platelet-rich plasma. And when it comes to sexual wellness procedures, I do believe that concentration matters. So it may be worth your while to ask specifically about what brand PRP kit is being used and do your research to determine what concentration is being delivered. Ideally, what we say is 3 to 6% times the normal concentration in blood would be a pretty strong PRP. So some places might use a kit that produces only 1 or 1.5 or 2 times concentration, which I feel would not be ideal for a sexual wellness procedure. So if you have further questions about the PRP kits or about our platelet-rich plasma procedures, otherwise in some locales called vampire procedures, we'd be happy to answer those.